world's deadliest criminals. Raised by an exiled brotherhood of the church. His purpose, to rid the world of the evil that infects it.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. Welcome to another new film review series. I had an epiphany the other day. I review a lot of games on this channel. I'm a fan of gaming in general, and I also do film reviews, so it would make sense, don't you think, that I started doing video game movie reviews. There's quite a few out there on the market now. Granted, many of them aren't particularly well respected, but there are a few out there on the market, and I have decided to watch and review quite a few of them, and I will do my video game movie reviews for you guys. And the first one that I have chosen to do this review on is the 2007 film, simply titled Hitman, that is directed by Javier Gens, and it stars Timothy Olyphant. I always get that name wrong. Doug Ray Scott, Olga Kurylenko, and Robert Knepper. Now, the Hitman games, just to give you my history on the games, I used to play them all the time, especially on the PlayStation 2 and on the PlayStation 3. I played an awful lot of the Hitman games, certainly years back. And not so much the new ones, the newer newer versions of Hitman. I have played them, certainly the first one. The second one has just become free on the PlayStation Plus membership, so I intend to give that one a go soon and probably do a review. But they are superb games, basically, the Hitman games. Very, very well respected games, and many of you with eagle eyes will notice up there, and I did show it off in a video recently, that is a Hitman figure up there, just there. But what do we get with this film? Does it tie in well to the game series? Well, what we get here actually is a very, very competent action film with an abysmal story. And I suspect that's going to be, pretty much the case with many of these video game movie reviews. I actually thought the casting here was really good for Timothy Olyphant. I mean, apparently Vin Diesel and Jason Statham were considered for the role, and I actually think Vin Diesel remained on board as a producer for this film. I think I'm right in saying that. But he obviously couldn't do it, and Jason Statham couldn't do it, and both of those seem like obvious choices, and they probably, maybe they were just picked because A, they're famous, and B, they're bald. Not really creative casting, is it? But when you actually look at Timothy Olyphant in this film, some of the stances that he does, some of the movements that he does, some of the looks that he gives, he very much looks like Agent 47 from the Hitman games. Agent 47 in the Hitman games is quite slight. He's almost stealth-like, like a cat at times, you know what I mean? And I thought it was excellent casting here. Really, really good casting for Hitman, and I thought he portrayed the character really, really well and did the character a lot of justice. He was brutal, he was cold-hearted, he killed in the blink of an eye when he knew that's what it needed to happen. But he was also merciful for those that he didn't need to be killed, or, certainly weren't, he wasn't being paid to kill, which also happens in the games. You do see that side of Agent 47 in some of the games as well. So I thought it remained true to the character of this film for the most part. But when we start getting into the story, it just falls to pieces. I mean, essentially, Agent 47. It's the same old thing, the story here. Agent 47 does a hit, or attempts to do a hit, and then basically gets set up. Which, granted, has happened in the games too. I'm not saying it hasn't, but it feels really tired in a movie. So he basically gets set up, and Doug Ray Scott's character works for Interpol, and he's been chasing him for years. Again, a really tired trope in these sort of films. You've got the grizzled, law and order guy chasing who he thinks to be the bad guy for years on end. I just felt like we didn't need any of that, really. Just focus on Agent 47, focus on the organisation he works for, give us more of that. And I think they learn from this, because later on you could argue the John Wick films are like a successful incantation or a successful version of Hitman franchise, because he's a hitman in those films. He's got a secret organization behind him, cold-hearted, brutal, etc., etc. John Wick essentially is Agent 47 in many, many ways, and I think if you look at the John Wick films, very simple storylines. Basically, it's basically John Wick is the interesting character here. He's single-minded. He's unstoppable. He's got a will of iron. He won't be beaten, and they're usually like simple revenge plots sort of thing. In regards to the John Wick storylines, they're starting to expand on that universe a little bit as each film goes on. Granted, in regards to the secret organization and stuff. And I think that's the problem they made with this film, is they tried to make it too complex with too many characters, and I think that's what drags the film down. In regards to the action that you get here, I have no complaints about any of the action that we get here. I mean, it's 2007. You could argue maybe it's dated a little poorly, but still, I really enjoyed many of the action scenes here, and I thought they were well choreographed. They were engaging, and it was an interesting film in many ways. To be honest, to say this is the first film, from my perspective, in regards to video game movie review, I thought this was a pretty decent start. If I'm honest, I'm actually going to give this one a 7 out of 10. I didn't dislike it immensely at all. Just a really poor and weak story. So, pretty decent start. Pretty decent watch. I know there's another Hitman film, Agent 47, which I will probably watch as part of this series of reviews that I'm doing. But yeah, pretty decent start there. Hitman, 7 out of 10. Worth watching for sure if you've never seen it, guys. So thanks for watching. I hope you like this review, and I will be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.